This message is in response to Phyllis. Um, she writes, I am trying to decide if I want to start doing massage at home. I have tried to find some sites that have information or advice from someone who is currently doing this. I am reluctant to have strangers in my house, but to rent someplace during these tough economic times is scary, especially with everyone holding on to even tighter to the money these days. Do you know of any information that might be helpful? Thank you, Phyllis. Phyllis, it is a little bit riskier massaging people out of your own house. And what most people do to start with is just friends and relatives, and only by referrals. That's how some people will massage people out of their own house then, just to be safe. But then you can just never totally be safe no matter what. So it's always a good idea to let people know that you are massaging out of your house, let other friends, relatives know and stuff. And especially if you're going to go to somebody else's house, that's the most risky. So definitely let somebody know that I'm going to be at this place, and if I'm not back at this such and such a time, please, contact the police or something else. I mean, it sounds a little bit extreme doing all those kind of things, but it's better to be safe than sorry. But that's why you do charge a lot more to do house calls. And some places will only do house calls to hotels. But the problem with hotels is things can happen there too. So what some therapists will do is just slip the receptionist $5, and if I'm not back in such and such a time, I'm up in this room then. So those kind of things, just to be safe, would be more beneficial. Things that massaging out of your own house, you want to be careful that you don't have any animals. So some people can be allergic to cats, dogs, those kind of things. Because it would be hard to get certain kind of clientele if you have that. But if you are such an animal lover, you have to have animals. Make sure you advertise that you do have animals. And then if people are allergic, it's probably not a good idea for them to come and get massages on. And with massaging on your own house too, you want to make sure they usually prefer the city. You want to check with the city regulations just to be safe, because every city is a little bit different. So you might have to have a private entrance. So it's even though it's in your house and stuff, they want kind of a private entrance, and they don't want it close to the main living area, and they want a bathroom close to your massage area too. So those are some kind of stipulations. And so if you're going to do any remodel, let's say you have your business out of your house, then you're going to do remodeling, then you have to come up with code with wheelchair accessible usually. So again, check with the city regulations and even state regulations just to make sure what you have to actually do with that then. But excuse me, what some people, one of my first massage places that I worked, it was out of somebody's garage. They made it into a massage studio, and it was really gorgeous and stuff, and the person just had to walk to work literally. So it was a detached garage, so about 30 feet, and then they're right there, but it still kind of separated them from their business too, because the problem is some people that have their business out of their own house, it's hard for them to actually relax because they're always thinking about business one way or another. But if you have your business a little bit separate like that, it's really beneficial. So I've heard of other people doing that too, just to kind of separate those things. And that's easier for tax purposes too, because then you can write off a portion of your mortgage if you want. But again, check with your accountant just to be safe with that too. But there are many different kind of things that you can write off. You can get electricity, certain portion of electricity. So let's say your business takes up 10% of your house, then you can write off 10% of your electricity, 10% of your gas, 10% of certain kind of bills then. So again, I'm not a tax consultant or anything else. Just make sure you check those different kind of things just to be safe. But some people will advertise for in-house business kind of thing like that. But just play a little cautious, just to be safe, of course. And some people will charge like $10 less if you're massaging out of your house, just because people are going to the spas and salons for atmosphere, so they're having to pay a little bit extra. But then you can charge a little bit less if people are coming in your house, especially to start with too. But just make sure it's not too low, otherwise they're going to suspect that, oh, you're not qualified, or you're not good at a massage therapist kind of thing. So just make sure it's maybe $5 or $10 at least less than the average going rate for an actual business for that. and it is kind of risky to rent if you don't have any kind of clientele built up. But if it's a facility where they already have massage in the past, kind of thing, so they could get some referrals and try to work out some kind of deal. So let's say the first month, let's say they are charging like $500 a month. So let's say the first month, let's go $300. The next month, $350. The next month after that, $400. So eventually work it up to what they want, but it's going to take a little while for you to build up your clientele too. So hopefully they understand, and I think businesses are more willing to work with you in these kind of circumstances too. But some say massage is actually 20% higher this past year, just because of the whole recession, because people are more stressed out, and if people are losing their health care, they tend to go to like alternative medicine. So that's why we are a little bit more popular. So I mean, in the spa setting, massage isn't doing as good kind of thing, but in other settings it tend to be doing pretty good then. So just check out with those. So any kind of comments or questions or anything else about in-home massage, leave comments below, and let's try to help fill us out as much as we can then. And one thing too is the reason why I'm wearing this hat is I live in Minnesota and it's 20 degrees below zero outside, and that's not even wind chill, so it's even cold inside then too. So stay warm, and thank you.